This is an open letter to my white people, my pink skin friends, and white people in general, pink skin people in general, and specifically pink skin people from Europe. Especially the rich pink skins of Europe and European descent. Here's the thing, folks. I'm not trying to, denigrate you, or I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm not even trying to, inform you, because the information that I review from time, historical information that I review from time to time, or any information that I review from time to time, this is not the information that I have created. This is the information that is everybody knows, but rich white folks, rich pink skins apparently they don't like anybody reviewing this information or putting two and two together. So that's why, long ago I was kicked out of Facebook, and recently I've been blackballed on Twitter or shadow banned on Twitter, and I'm thinking of moving to social media that are not owned by rich white folks, because the social media that is owned by rich white folks get offended when I bring up certain facts, historical, current history fact. I'm not even talking about ancient history. I'm talking about when I bring about recent historical facts about Europeans and people of European descent. These rich white folks get really offended. Well, in general, all white folks get offended, but rich white folks are in a position to shadow ban you and block you and suspend you from social media in order to, what's the point? Prevent the truth from being heard, or prevent our reputation from being ruined as rich white folks. Well, if you don't want your reputation to be ruined, don't do bad shit. This recent, for example, decision by the Florida lawmakers that we are going to block any information that makes our white children feel bad about our history. We're going to block any information that will make our children, as white children, feel bad about our history as white people or pink skins. And I'm thinking to myself, so you're banning facts? So the facts, history is basically, certain facts are undeniable, basically from both, if you look at it from the right side or the left side, is undeniable. For example, fact. In recent history, I know humanity have always been savages. All races were savages, but let's stick to recent history. We know we supposedly we are evolving to become better. So let's put aside the, ancient history. Let's concentrate on recent history, where there are books available that we can read about the ancient history and learn some lessons, so not to repeat the bullshit that happened, that savagery that happened in ancient history. But that's not the case. Let's review the recent history of people of European descent, Europeans and people of European descent. Recent history. Salute. Again, these are facts that I will go over that in general nobody can really deny it. There are evidence that has come out that the natives over there didn't instigate to be attacked by Europeans. Europeans found they made up some kind of reason to attack the natives. Let's start. As soon as Europeans learned how to build big ships, they started attacking Africans. They were nearby and they were easy to get to, so the Europeans learned how to build bigger ships than Africans, and Africans became under attack. Now the reality, the truth, is that long before Europeans learned how to make big ships, ocean going, deep sea going, warm water going, big ships, Chinese were making them. The Persians were making them. There's a lot of evidence that Chinese visited Africans on many occasions, and there is a long history. In West Asia of Asians visiting Africa. For example, Zanzibar is one of those. Zanzibar is a port in Africa that is very well known to all the South Asians and West Asians as a commercial port of Africa that everybody visited from Asia, and everybody who had big ships. So they were all trading more or less. The point was, exchange of goods. It was the Europeans who decided that no, exchange of goods is not enough for us. We want to go and own the resource. We don't want them to bring their goods to port and exchange it with us, to the seaport and exchange it with us. No, we want to go and own the goods that they have for free after killing them. This is Europeans. The Chinese, the Asians, the East Asians, the West Asians all had a trading, a commerce relationship with Africans. But as soon as the pink-skinned Europeans learned how to make large ships, they decided that nope, trade is not enough. We're going to go actually take over the resource, kill them and take over the resources. This is recent history. Then they learned, Europeans built bigger ships and learned how to get across the ocean to North America and South America. Again, the plan was not to trade, as they're trying to say, they actually make up a holiday for a Thanksgiving, just pretending that the natives welcomed them and make it a national holidays, while these natives are the 110 million natives that the Europeans just wiped out. The idea again was not to trade with the natives, was to eliminate them, take over their resources, period. Then see if we can exploit the African muscle for this land that we have stolen from these guys, and see if we can make a buck more. Maybe we can double, triple our profit. So take over the resources in Africa, kill them, try to eliminate the natives, and take over the resources. They tried, they killed millions, tens of hundreds of millions of Africans. There are too many Africans. But the numbers were more manageable in North America. There was only 100 million Redskins, and eliminate them, take over their resources. Try to eliminate them, take over their resources. Okay. World War II, the country with the biggest human losses was Russia. That's another Asian country. Europeans attacked. It was the Germans, Europeans, who attacked Russia and tried to eliminate as many Russians as they can. They killed like 20, 30 million, 40, 50 million military and civilian. They just had like 20 million military personnel died during the attack of these pink skin Europeans against Russia. Russia is basically white people of Asia are Russians, because most of Russia is in Asia. So most white people of Asia are called Russians, or Uzbeks, or Tatars, or whatever. They're white, but they're Asians. The European white people attacked the Asians in the north and killed like 20, 30 million, 40 million Asians from Russia. So kill like 20, 30, 40 millions Asians on this side, then go to other side of the Atlantic, kill 110 million Redskins, go south to Africa, kill a couple of 100 million Blackskins, try to not trade but take over what they have. So you get in a trade, you have to be satisfied with the profit margin. But so if you're buying something from the guy, improving it and selling it, you get a percentage in productivity, because you improve the product. What the rich pink skin Europeans wanted was that no, we want all of the profit. We want to own the product in Africa and then improve it and make it better and sell it at a higher price, so we can take 100%, 200%, 300% profit. We don't want to trade, we want to own you. We don't want to trade with you, we want to own you. This is the playbook of the rich pink skins, wherever they have gone. Continue. After killing hundreds and hundreds of millions, after killing another 20, 30 million, 40 million Russians after World War II, then rich pink skins concentrated on East Asia, killed another 20, 30, 40, 50 million in East Asia, killed or promoted the killing of or facilitated the killing of. They did some of it in Vietnam themselves, but they helped, during World War II, kill another, the World War II in terms of, as far as the Japanese were concerned, because it happened because, the rich pink skin wanted to prevent Japanese from, doing pretty much what Europeans have done, exploiting the neighborhood. So sparked a conflict with the East Asians there. First took care of the Japanese, killed millions and millions and millions of them, and then moved into Asia, started killing the Koreans and the Vietnamese and the Cambodians, and just killing from East Asia. Because I guess they want to own the resources everywhere. The white people, rich white people from Europe and European descent, want to own everything, everyone, everywhere. That was, after World War II, it was attack to the East Asia. And after attack to East Asia, it was a continuous Cold War with other Asians that's in Russia and other Asians in China. And then back to hot war, attacking West Asia, killing hundreds of thousands of people, at least a couple of million people in West Asia, in the process of taking over all of the land, be the owner of the land, be the owner of the resources, as white Europeans, who Ashkenazis are. They have gone so far as to pretend that they are the natives, sort of like calling themselves the Semites. It's sort of like, yeah, I'm African, but 100,000 years ago I was African. You're not Semite, you're Hungarian, you're Polish, you're British, you're not Semite. But they go as far as taking the identity of the locals in order to pretend that they are the locals. It's sort of like the same thing that Mormons and the idea of Mormonism and the idea of Spirit of the West, the same idea that no, We were the original owner. Jesus, after he left, you know, Palestine, he came and visited North America and promised North America to us Europeans. It keeps going into mythology and bullshit that they keep, along with Thanksgiving, there is Mormonism, and then Jesus visiting North America, and it it doesn't matter what facade the rich white people put on it, whether we are fighting for Jesus, whether we are fighting for Moses, whether we are fighting for capitalism, whether we are fighting for freedom, whether we are fighting for democracy. It doesn't matter what facade white people put on it, but every time the answer is the same. They're after killing a large number of natives of different parts of this planet in order to own the land and the resources and either eliminate or at least subdue and subjugate the natives. Now, these are facts. This is history. I'm not saying this because, of any ulterior motive. I'm just, sequencing these facts that have happened. My only input is that I'm saying these are all the facades that they mention, and pretty much every time later on it has become clear that it was a facade. In case of Vietnam, later on it became clear that it was a French pink skin colony. Then it was handed to Uncle Sam's pink skin managers, who employed a multiracial group of soldiers in order to implement the pink skin policy of attacking East Asia, in order to take over the land, subdue and subjugate the locals, hopefully kill all of them. But the point is, we have a footprint, so we can be the owner of these resources. These are facts. My interpretation is that I feel all of it have been facades, and to point that out is later on it becomes clear that Gulf of Tonkin was made up. Now it's becoming clear that 9/11 was made up, supposedly. I might be wrong. Some people say so. That it's a facade. They wanted to go to West Asia because West Asia has a lot of resources that they don't want to trade for, they want to own. Rich white people want to own the land and the resources and the markets available in West Asia. So they attack it, and they don't mind killing millions and millions and millions and millions of people, hopefully wiping out the whole population. But if they can't wipe out the whole population, at least, subdue and subjugate them, so in order to own them and their land and their resources. Is there any question? This is a fact that the Iraqis cannot get their oil money directly, and the oil money from Iraq goes to New York, and a bunch of pink skins decide how much of that oil money should be sent back to Iraq so Iraqis can buy food for themselves. We own your resources, and you're a subdued population who are there to just, take care of our resources, guard our resources. You don't get the money from those resources. You don't get the money from the markets that has been open to KFC and Burger King. You don't get that money. That profit goes to New York. You're just there to watch over our resources who are sitting in New York. This is the rich white folks mentality. Now, whether they're Christian, they're Jewish, it doesn't matter. Does it matter? The bunch of people who went to East Asia were a bunch of gun-ho Christians. Mr. George W. Bush was a gun-ho Christian who opened the road to West Asia. It wasn't him the first one. The first one was his father. Before that was his grandfather. It's not a religious thing. If you're a rich white man, apparently you don't believe in trade. You believe in I own you. I want to own you. If I don't own you, I want to own you. If I can't own you, I will kill you. This is the mentality of rich white man. First, I want to own your resources. In order to do that, I have to subdue and subjugate you. If I can't do that, I will kill you and then own your resources and your land. I'm sorry, other races, other people have come and gone on this planet. This is uniquely rich white man perspective of owning everything, everywhere, all the time. That's the aim. Now, how we get there, sometimes we say we are bringing democracy and freedom. Sometimes we say we are bringing you Christ and capitalism. Doesn't matter. We are going to bring you something and kill you with it because of it, whatever it takes. Salute. Now, but all rich white people, including Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Mr. DeSantis and all rich white politicians or females, males, doesn't, and a lot of brown people who are sucking up to these rich white folks like Patel and Mattel and Cash and Mash and Tash and Nikki Haley and Nikki Paley and Nikki Kelly. All these brown people who are sucking up as well also understand that that is the plan, that these rich white folks want to own everybody. So now if I'm a politician or I have any aspirations for me and my family, I will cooperate with these rich white folks so they can own me and my mother, so maybe they keep me alive. You see, these Indians who love rich white folks more than rich white folks love themselves. These Indians are just thinking about me and my family. I will sell everybody and everything to these rich white folks as long as they keep me alive and wealthy and rich, and just me and my family. A DJ Khaled kind of mentality. And we go along with the rich white folks, although we see that rich white folks are fucking everybody over all the time, trying to fuck everybody over all the time. This is not a mystery. I'm not making this shit up. It's not a mystery, it's current history. They don't want to do trade. They're sort of like the Mongols. The European pinkskins, sort of like the Mongols from Central Asia. It's, as soon as the Mongols realize that they have an advantage on the back of a horse, and they are a very good horse rider and they have an advantage, they are so violent and so selfish that they didn't believe in trade. The Mongols didn't believe in trade. It's sort of, no, we don't want trade. We want your riches and we want your women. That's it. We don't want trade. We come in, we want to kill all of you, all the males, take your women and your riches, and move on to the next town, burn it down, take the riches, burn it down, and take the women. Women were important at that time for them, reproduction. My point is this, that rich white folks have the same mentality as the people of Mongolia. That violent, primitive mentality of, no, we don't want to trade, we want to fuck. No, we don't want to trade, we want to kill you and then own your land because you're no longer there. That's the same policy they're implementing in West Asia. It's sort of like, the Russian, the North Asians have got it up, took it up the ass from the Europeans. The Africans have taken it up the ass from the Europeans. The North Americans and South Americans took it so bad up the ass from the Europeans, and that they are extinct The Redskins are almost extinct. The East Asian took it up the ass for a long time from the Europeans, and are still are. So the point is, the rich pink skin Europeans, or of European pink skins of European descent, have been more or less fucking everyone, every race in recent history, including their own poor. The British and the Europeans exploited their own poor white people the most. Cannon fodder. All the time. Let's send them out to the sea. If they land somewhere, maybe we can claim it because they're white and we are white. We don't like our own citizens. To cheat them, we just load them onto ships and send them to other people's land. If they die, they die. If they don't die, we have white people on other people's land, we can claim it as our own. Exactly what happened in Israel. We don't like the Jewish people, we don't like these Ashkenazis, to keep them in our own land. We put them on ship, we send them to somebody else's land, then we help them to keep that land, because after all, they're white like us. We can intermarry with them, no problem, they're white. The same scenario keeps repeating because rich white men apparently like it that way. There is no evolution in rich white people. There is no evolutionary thinking of, no, maybe trade is better than, maybe keeping people alive is better than trying to own everybody everywhere all the time. Own everything everywhere all the time. I'm sorry, but these are facts. This is current history. We don't need to, go to mythology of ancient history. This is current history. There are videos of it. There are pictures of it. I mean, it's not that they like the Asian, as I said before, it's not like the Asians couldn't do this shit that the Europeans have been doing for the past 500 years. It's not like the Asians couldn't do it. They just, thought it's a bad idea. These people can speak. Are standing upright, they can speak. It's a bad idea to kill them just, for their resources. They're working their resources, and they come and sell their resources to us. Yeah, we don't get it for free, but we have to pay for it. Yeah, no problem. We like to keep the diversity. We like to see them alive. This is the idea that the rich white people don't have. That understanding that, no, we want to see them alive. They're a source of amusement. We want to see the Arabs alive. They don't have that idea. No, we want all of them dead. We want these people dead, black people dead, we want brown people dead, we want red people dead, we want green people dead, we want yellow people dead. If you're not white, we either kill you or we own you. Which one do you want? Salute. Then you actually feel it, that somebody like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, they both hate what I'm saying. They're offended. I don't mean to offend you. If reviewing historical facts it offends you, then I'm sorry. You're not as tough as you think you are. But in order to make things better, you have to review historical facts, so you don't, put your foot in the same hole again. You can't, like Mr. DeSantis says, no, we don't want to review those historical facts that makes our children feel bad about their race. So that means you want those, what we consider, what we as other races on this planet consider as mistakes. You don't want to recognize those mistakes. You don't want your children to learn about those mistakes. So what? You're hoping that your children will repeat those mistakes and eliminate more brown and black and yellow and green and red from your planet? I never forget that. I think was General Petrios, whatever, however he pronounces his name. He was John Stewart was interviewing him in one of his uh, episodes of The Problem with John Stewart. He was interviewing him as this general says, uh, Mr. Stewart says, yeah, but we killed like a couple of million people in Africa, in Iraq. And Mr. Petraeus just looks at him and says, yeah, but they have democracy now. You know, a form of government that was adapted by Greek or Romans some time ago is, you know, is so important for everybody to adapt that it's worth killing a couple of million for it. That by itself shows the arrogance, the level of arrogance of rich white people. Just pure arrogance, as in like, my cock is the best cock. That level of arrogance of sort of like, have you read history? Do you know that this thing you call democracy never ends well? And you still have the audacity to say killing millions of people is okay because we brought them democracy, and it was okay because we brought them capitalism, and it was okay because we brought them Christianity. These people, rich white people, have their head so far up their ass, and if you try to pull their head out of their ass, they say, no, you're offending me, and I don't want to hear that story, that part of that history from that perspective. I don't want to review the history from that perspective. I don't want my children to know any of historical facts from that perspective. I don't want my children to review the history. I want my children to think that Thanksgiving was real. And so was Jesus. And Jesus was white. So is Santa. It's sort of like, I want to live in my dream world. Do you mind? Well, your dream world is apparently in a world which you own everybody and everyone and everything all the time. This is a dream world of a rich white man. The dream world is actually, one of the generals said, one of these rich white generals said that, yeah, I don't want to live in a world where Chinese call the shots. I'm sorry, we have been living in a world where white people have called the shots, and from reviewing current history, we know that as long as white people have been calling the shots, millions and millions have died. But we all also know that during the time the Chinese were calling the shots on planet Earth, much less people died. They weren't, the invading kind, we want to own you kind of people. They were the we want to trade kind of people. You're not, I don't think rich white people calling the shots on planet Earth, I don't think it's a step forward. It's like allowing the Mongols to start calling the shots on the planet. Mongols have shown in their history that they are not worthy. Every time, everywhere they stepped, there was blood was spilled, a lot of it. And so has the Europeans have shown that everywhere people of Europe or people of European descent have stepped, a lot of blood was spilled. Everyone they helped to spill a lot of blood. This is the facts about the Europeans. I'm not, picking on anybody. These are facts. And as we go forward, there is absolutely no one to try to fix these facts or say, okay, yeah, bad. we won't do it again. No, continues under a different banner. Freedom and democracy, Christianity and capitalism. Take your pick. We go forward. The objective is the same. We want to own you. And if you get on our way, we kill you and then we own your land. The objective is the same. Now, FBI looks at this video, CIA looks at this video and says, yeah, we don't like what he's saying. Okay. Is any of it not factual? Mr. Elon Musk and Mr. Zuckerberg or their CIA overseers, FBI overseers, look at this video and say, no, we don't like what he's saying. But is it not factual? If at the point in your life which you try to run away from facts, that wouldn't be considered as a high point in your life. You see what I'm saying? So based on this idea that if you run away from facts, that's not a high point in your life, think like that. And try to improve by, reviewing the information and finding out, thinking that maybe it's not them, maybe it's me. I mean, it's so bad in recent history, it has become so bad that one group of white people in Israel are tried and did justify their violent tendencies by bringing up Dresden as an exhibit of another group of white people's violent tendencies. Sort of like, yeah, you see, these white people did Dresden to those white people, so we have the right to do another Dresden to these brown people. I'm sorry, I'm speechless. They can't even, because those white people did this, we have the right to do the same. I'm sorry, the problem is white people? Specific, not even poor white people, because poor white people have had to deal with rich white people forever because they're of the same race. But rich white people are just awful, awfully aggressive, awfully selfish, awfully violent, awful people. And I'm not, really don't care, Christian, Jewish, 10% of the European population, 10%, 1% of European population may be Jewish, maybe not. But it's the same race, white people from Europe. Again, the gun-ho generals in East Asia were Christians. The gun-ho Christians, the gun-ho Europeans who invaded Africa couple of centuries ago were all Christians. The gun-ho invaders who invaded South America, North America were mostly Christians. There was always a trickle of Jewish people moving over, but following their Christian brethren. But this whole idea is sort of like, this is rich white folk problem. Some of them are Jewish, some of them are Christian, but it's a rich white folks problem. It is bringing death and destruction to every other race on this planet. And somehow they still sit on their high horse and says, yes, but we are doing it for good. We are bringing death and destruction to you, but it's for good intentions. What good intentions? Democracy and capitalism. And if you bring it up, you're a bad guy for acknowledging his recent historical facts. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Elon Musk. I'm sorry, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. But you're both the same. You don't want to trade. You want to own everyone, everything, all the time, everywhere. Planet Earth has a rich white folks problem, rich pink skin problem.